Welcome to episode 2 of the Huddle podcast. This time we're joined by Simon Martin, an absolute enigma of a person, a maverick of an entrepreneur, and wow, a visionary like few other. He started PSI and Taylor for that matter from the ground up, and the tournament is showbiz, it's exciting, it's fun, everyone wants to be a part of it. And ultimately, being a part of that tournament has gone on to be so impactful in South African indoor hockey, and is a large reason that we went on to win our first bronze medal on an international stage. He has, birthed indoor international icons, his passion for the sport, his passion for his company, his family, and everything that goes with it. We take a deep dive with him. Join us. It's going to be good. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Huddle podcast, edition number 2. And we're talking all the good things PSI Pro Series Indoor. I'm pretty sure you guys all know it by now. And if not, we're going to be talking it through where it started, where it's gone, and how much of an incredible impact it's had on South African hockey, and especially indoor. Damn special. So, Si, let's talk it through. You're quite a maverick of a person. You're an absolute visionary. You are a risk taker and a flippin' special person, and I feel like you've put it into PSI, and it's so insane to look at it, two decades later, and look at it now. So can you take us back to where did it all start?
Well, it started right here where we're sitting, and different circumstances. The lights were awful, the pitch was awful, but we basically just built it up, and we brought in the most incredible surface here. You know, we've redone the lights, we've redone this entire building, the stands, the bathrooms. We've made this place our home, and we've created just a legacy here at Wynberg, where it all started. We started with 24 boys playing indoor, literally in the Western Cape, and now we've probably had 24,000 boys that have played through the years, and in total probably 50,000 people that have come through the system all over Namibia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and other parts of the world. So it's something I wake up every day and I think, how can I make hockey better, indoor hockey better in South Africa, and I go for it, and I take risks, and I love challenges, and it's been my purpose, and if you got purpose every day, you'll give 100%, and that's what I've done for PSI. I've really given my all, and you can definitely see the benefits now.
Yeah, so quickly from our side, I mean, what was the dream? What made you start PSI? Like, what was that moment that you thought, okay, I really need to start this because of this? And did you ever think it would reach the point it is at now?
I think hockey, as a player going through school, I thought there was something missing. Like, I thought my whole hockey career, I just felt like there was definitely that excitement. I think it was more just like, you want to make a team, and there was always pressure, and it was always about, like colors and honors and all that kind of stuff. And when I look back, that actually didn't mean anything. What it meant, what I wanted to do to change the game in South Africa, was to do something that was an incredible experience. So kids could rub shoulders with the best players in South Africa or around the world. They could play in a system where, they have freedom to express themselves. They can wear funky colors, and you've got a mascot running around the field, exciting everyone, and everyone can just play amongst each other in a way, where you're not playing for a school and it's so serious and you have to be there exactly at 2:00. This is an experience that made people excited and gave people a lot of energy to come back every week, and I love the concept of PSI because of the nature of where we've taken it, and it just allowed people to express themselves, not on the field and off the field. It's just parents have got involved, coaches have got involved, umpires get excited about umpiring PSI, which normally they hate umpiring, and and that's where we're going as an organization. So yeah, to go ahead 20 years and see where it is now. I probably this is probably where I wanted to be. I wanted it to be a success, and I wanted it to have such a huge impact in South African hockey. So, I definitely ticked a box there. And yeah, I mean, I still think that there's a bigger path, and there's a bigger dream ahead. And so yeah, that's exciting for us.
Before Brundle goes, what's the definition of success to you? Like, if you look back now, like, what would you say why is PSR successful? Like, what's the definition of that for you?
I think it's just, people have just all committed. They've all loved the idea. It's become probably one of the biggest hockey tournaments around the world. And people just want to participate, win or lose. They want to learn from good coaches. I just think success is what we see and what we feel when we come to PSI. And a lot of hockey events you go to, and you kind of just drift in and you drift out. But when you go to PSI, you feel something different and special, and that's what it's about for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you've spoken about is testament to that you didn't know. And it's like you kind of, if you want to use another sport, you kind of try to bring the Pro 20 fun, flashy, colorful, lot of excitement. But as you say, not only on the field, but off the field. And I would like to know, did you ever think at the time, obviously a big focus for you, I guess it started off as a smallish hockey tournament, and it was just focused around hockey, and then but more and more started with exhibition games and fun things for the kids to do. And do you ever look back and realize how much, I would say, is one of probably your most impactful things you've done to the local hockey scene is continuously getting overseas players to come and play for the All-Stars or against the national team or whatever? Because I think it gave, we've had Muz on the podcast before, but we can remember watching him through the ranks, but it gave him the opportunity to see someone that is literally the best in the world. We can go through it. Robert Tickers, Turner Rohoff, you were exposing a local South African hockey players and kids to a level that was way beyond any of our local guys. And I think, do you ever look back on that and realize how impactful just that small decision may have been?
Yeah, I think it was, I mean, I went to the 2015 World Cup in Leipzig, and I just stood there and was like, this is incredible. There were 15,000 people there on the last 3 days, and I looked at the players and I was like, you know what, these players are role models, let's get them to South Africa. And when the Dutch won and Robert Tiggers literally lifted the trophy and he went outside for 10 minutes to have just a celebration moment, and I went up to him and I said, listen, I've got to bring you to South Africa. I've got to bring you. You basically have changed my life here. You beat Germany in Germany. Not many people can say they've done that. And literally, 2 months later, he was at our opening function in July, and he changed a lot of people that weekend. He flew in literally for 4 days, and he was out. And what he signed so many autographs. He gave so many high fives. He inspired so many youngsters. He inspired my kids, and that was the start of the journey of bringing all these players. So, having the likes of Morris Forster come here, Benny Vess, Timo Vess, I mean, the list goes on, and it's just, it's inspired not only the South Africans, the Namibians, and the Zimbabweans, and you just look at where indoor hockey's gone from then to now, and those guys have made such an impact. So role models are, to me, the most important thing. And, hockey is great because it's not like football where there's always a barrier between the players and the spectators and the future stars. Where hockey, you can rub shoulders, you can high five, and you can take Instagram pictures with them, and you can do what you need to do. So I mean, yeah, it's been incredible to see these youngsters look at their heroes, and now they're playing against them, and some of them are even beating them. So, which is amazing to see.
Yeah. So, I mean, how big is PSR? I mean, how many countries has PSR got into? How many franchises are there? I mean, we arrive here and there's like 1 million kids when I'm watching a game. But how big is PSR?
So in South Africa, there's 32 franchises. And then outside of that, we've got Zimbabwe, which is really growing, and I think they're doing an amazing job there. Namibia, as we know, are a powerhouse, and we've seen the success of them through the years. Ireland, we're playing PSI in Ireland, and we started PSI in England and a little bit in the Netherlands. But obviously during COVID, it became a problem because obviously they came up with a rule that you can't be in a hall for, I think it was almost a year and a half. So it's kind of something we need to revisit those areas again. But I think we're really looking to grow it into other parts of the world and look at, more in areas that really, really need it, and I think that's the most important thing, is looking at countries that they've got a lot of hockey players, they've got a lot of talent there, but they don't have an organization to drive it. So that's kind of where our focus is going to be post this year. There's a lot, watch this space.
That's flipping exciting. So, speaking of, what year out of interest was Leipzig?
2015.
And I can remember at that stage, so that was prior to you bringing a lot of these internationals. I think we were, ourselves in Namibia, I don't think had ever been properly competitive at an indoor World Cup. Have you ever, has it ever been a moment where you've pinched yourself and realized, like, watching, because now obviously we're talking about, around 2015, the next couple of years, good 3 or 4, 5 years, you brought a lot of internationals over, and slowly but surely the international teams of, the more local guys, so Namibia and South Africa, like, their level just so quickly. And I guess it's also part and parcel of the fact that half of them came, or more than half, came from PSI, and they'd been playing so much indoor. But the level of their hockey got so much better. But then the really exciting thing is that actually became such a powerful rivalry. And so much so that, like, it's interesting to chat to Muz, it's quite a passionate topic, is South Africa versus Namibia. Did you ever realize, like, how you actually landed up building two powerhouse nations? I failed to think exactly what Namibia came at the most recent World Cup, but they were damn competitive, let alone we got our first bronze. Like, do you realize that you absolutely, amplified that rivalry?
Yeah, I look back, a lot of those players from Namibia, they started under 11, under 12, and they've all gone through, Liam Amanis, the Hansen brothers, and you look at that, not only the men, you look at the female. The rivalry also there is incredible, and you've got a lot of those players, Gillian Amanis, Kiki Cormack, there's a long list, and I think that's what you need, obviously being at the end of Africa, to travel to Europe is quite tough, and to have a neighbor that's really strong is important, because you keep pushing yourselves, and the level just keeps on going and going, and those games are so competitive now. And I think also we're doing each other a favor. I think the women Namibia side did really well at the World Cup now, so Africa get 2 spots at the World Cup, where our ladies didn't have a great World Cup, unfortunately, and there was also an opportunity where if Namibia men beat Australia, they could have had 3 African teams in the next World Cup, which is insane. So potentially Zimbabwe could have gone, so from a men's side. So you look at that, and where we've come. And if you go back to 2003, when we had the first World Cup in Leipzig as well, South Africa came 11th, 12th. So Namibian hockey is in a good place, and it's amazing to have, two nations so close with good rivalry, and in sport you look at it and it's becoming like the India-Pakistan cricket clash, and that's what it is. It's fiery and it's super spectator friendly, lots of goals, emotions, and we love that. As sports lovers, we absolutely love it. We live for it.
I mean, so you've said one of your values or principles of PSI is to create experiences and memories for people. What would you say is one of your best memories or experiences through PSI for you? A moment where you were like, yes, that's the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult. Like, so much has happened. And I actually go back 2016. Like, it's far back, which is quite insane. But, I mean, listen, we did the opening function at Rotanga Junction, and it was under 13, under 14 opening function. And Morris Forster arrived. And he literally... Macca's was the MC that day, and he introduced Morris Forster. He was standing at the top of Rotanga Junction, and he had to walk to the stage. Honestly, Bakes, I have never seen kids go absolutely berserk. The man, he was like Messi. He walked down from the top to the end. And his mother was sitting in the corner there, and she actually thought that this guy was going to get like squashed. I've never seen so much excitement for, he's a world player. He won World Player of the Year, I think 2013 or 2014. So it was, he's pretty much a hockey icon, indoor and outdoor. And when he walked down those stairs, I have never seen so much passion and excitement and screaming and joy. And he's a role model. And for me, I was like, this is real. And we're creating a movement here. So I think for me, that was a really, really special moment, seeing that. And I think he was super overwhelmed. Like, he didn't know that he was so famous in South Africa.
That's what I was going to say, is do you think he even he probably hasn't had as a resounding a welcome or probably anywhere else. Do you think he was taken aback?
He said, in Germany, like, hockey's, it's a popular sport. It's not like football or, but he said that was probably one of the craziest moments he's ever had in his hockey career. And I mean, he's played in India Hockey League, where people are crazy about hockey in India. I think he was best player 1 year at India Hockey League. He's won European championships. He's won, Olympic golds, I think 2 Olympic golds, and he said that was probably one of the craziest moments of his life.
Yeah, I've got another one. I mean, I was kind of hoping this was going to be one of your core memories, but that one definitely sounds way better. But recently at the World Cup, you kind of look back and you've got coaches that have been through the PSI system now with Namibia and with, I'm going to say, the indoor South African teams. You've got, John T, who's involved as video, he's been involved. You look at players who've all been through the system. This recent World Cup with the Blitzstock winning a bronze medal, I mean, what did that mean to you? Yeah.
That was special.
Can I quickly also just add to that, is like, I think we've also been maybe involved a bit in the behind the scenes, and to think, and we've seen it on you before, like how much stress, how much effort, how much emotional energy, how much everything, money you put into every PSI on an annual basis or biannual basis. And then to see that literally of the Blitzstock team, I think one guy had probably not played PSI. I may stand to be corrected. Maybe
that's because he was like 50.
No, well, exactly. Yeah. He had how many 100 caps, and he couldn't play PSI. He most definitely would have had he had the opportunity. But it was either him and Jet were probably the only two that maybe didn't play. And to think, how insane a moment that must have been for you.
Yeah, that was obviously abroad. What Bake was saying, that was in South Africa, and with that moment with Mo Firster. But I think the moment in Croatia was special, and also like to share it. John Mackey he's been on the microphone MC of PSI since 2011, and to have him there as well. We were sitting in the stands with the South African supporters, and just looking at the players, their excitement and their joy and their passion and tears, and just it was insane. And just to go back and picture them as little boys running around at PSI and having their tantrums and having their golden moments, and now actually watching them on the big stage and seeing them achieve an amazing moment and a bronze medal, like whoever would have thought, going back to 2005 when we started PSI, would we have achieved a medal 20 years later? Probably would have looked in the mirror and probably said to you, maybe not. And the acceleration in the last 20 years has been incredible. And to see those players literally like that size, with their squeaky little voices as youngsters and their oversized tailored clothing, and now they set for the big stage and they're achieving something that's really special. And I think back home people were just so excited. The indoor hockey lovers just got so excited. I got emotional in the stands and Macca's got emotional. And the moment the guys came off the field, we went downstairs and shared that moment in the change room with the players. And it was special, guys. You had to have been there. Yeah, it was worth all the last 20 years of, really just investing so much money in the game, time-wise, money, resources, just, getting all these hockey players abroad, the coaches abroad, educating our players and inspiring our players, and to witness it live it was a special moment outside of being in the PSI kind of system.
Do you think an African team can win the World Cup?
Well, South Africa are literally, the men's side are literally 2 steps away, silver, gold, and that's it, So I honestly, I really think that our men's team are in a really good space. I think they've got an incredibly good side, and there's a lot of depth and talent coming through as well. And I think the most important thing is there's a few things we need to probably do, and it's probably to host maybe an incoming series outside of Nkosi Cup, maybe have some of the players go play abroad a little bit, and especially in Germany, and have a kind of a campaign leading to the next World Cup. And I think we will be dynamite, and I think everyone will be scared to play South Africa, because in Croatia the crowd wanted to watch South Africa play because they were probably one of the most exciting teams and they had some of the most exciting players. And I think if we put it together over the next 3-4 years, with this cycle of players coming through, I really think that our men's side could achieve that. And yeah, I mean, who knows? Wherever the World Cup is, I think we really will compete, and be definitely a medal-winning team, that's for sure.
We've touched on PSR, and now we're going to touch into some of the events you've hosted, which would be in Nkosi Cup and the World Cup. To start, I mean, for you personally, hosting a World Cup, I mean, how did that start? Where did it begin? How did you even get involved in something like that?
So yeah, Bex, it's an interesting one, because in 2018 I went to the World Cup to watch South Africa play, and after the World Cup, it was in Berlin. It was an incredible World Cup. I mean, there was probably, on the last day, there was probably about 17,000 people there in the arena. And it was just, I've never seen so many excited people about the game. Like, the setup was incredible. the lighting, the big screens, the floor, just the way in which the Germans had run the World Cup was just sensational. And I remember saying to Lenny Buerta, who was doing a course that time, and he came up to me and he said, Simon, wow, this was amazing. I said, sure, Lenny, I don't know if we can host this in South Africa. I looked at him and I said, sure, I don't think this is possible. And literally 5 years later, we were hosting it in South Africa, and you say never say never, it was, if you look back, and what a journey. And we were lucky in a way, because the World Cup was meant to be in Belgium, and kind of COVID cancelled the event, and then they postponed it, and then unfortunately there was issues with the venue in Belgium, so it opened up to FIH opened up the bidding process again, and there were 3 countries that bidded, and I put my hand up and I said, I want to make this happen. And I probably spent 6 to 7 months really just honing in, getting our bid right. Obviously finding sponsors, chatting to the city, finding the right location and venue, and the hotels, and just, and we bidded, and we got awarded the 2023 Indoor World Cup, and it was a life-changing moment for me. Definitely.
Yeah, so let's dive into that a bit more. So you basically said to Lenny, and said nah, never. And then yet 5 years later you made it happen. It's testament to your character, the maverick of a man, the risk taker, the believer, the man that's willing to put himself out there and work hard for it as well. I think touch on that, how much stress, how much, what went into it from a nitty-gritty perspective. It's not easy.
It's the World Cup. It's not like a little Mickey Mouse event. And I went in blind, to be honest. But I was determined, and that was the thing. I really believed that we could host the World Cup. When the sniff came and the bid went out, I was like, you know what? I'm going against my word in 2018, and I'm going to make this happen. And it was hard work. I think, organizing the event, with SA Hockey, ourselves, trying to find sponsors, the broadcasting side was obviously really important too, and I think obviously we needed a suitable venue, and, Heartfelt Arena, more in a rugby playing city. But I thought that, it was a great venue to host. And, it's easy in, international teams flying in, the hotels, they got lots of hotels, the transport system worked really well. And the city of Tshwane actually got it behind the event, and we had a lot of meetings with them. It wasn't, most events around South Africa are normally kind of low risk events. This bumped up to a medium risk event, so there's a lot more that goes into it. To give you an idea, a high risk event was when on Mandela's funerals, and that was pretty much, I've only ever had maybe 2 or 3, and there was a lot of meetings with the police force, because up there it's a lot more dangerous than down here. So, I think that was a lot of concerns for a lot of incoming teams being in Gauteng. But I think, the police force, the municipality, really got behind the event. Looking back, I sacrificed pretty much a year and a half of my life on the event. Every day, you wake up and you go to you think about what you're going to have for breakfast. Every day I woke up for a year and a half and I thought about the World Cup and what we had to do, and just the organization and the meetings, and it just, people wanted it to happen and people got behind it, and I think yeah, it was just, I met so many amazing people. I networked with so many people that just really, yeah, I never thought I would ever. I met the minister of sport, well, the ex-minister, and I never thought I'd ever have that opportunity. But yeah, it's something. He even came to the finals there, and it was a special moment. South Africa didn't win it, but yeah, if I look back, it was worth it all. That's for sure. I can tell you.
Talk us through some lows, obviously along that journey, some stories that are potentially lows, and then with some highs, like some really good memories that made it all worth it.
I think 3 days before the World Cup, I had a moment. Yeah, I think there was just too much going on, with like Spa coming in there, setting up the venue. You've got all the requirements from FIH, everything has to be set. The floor, there was like problems with the floor, getting it through customs. So there was a lot of things that we had to get past the line. And when the floor came, there was a massive hydraulic leak on the pitch. It took literally half a morning to clean up before they laid the surface. There was like a storm that kept on coming through Pretoria, and a lot of the tents that they put up, they kept on falling over. It was chaotic. I think the one morning we got there and half the tents were all ripped, so they had to bring in new tents. So behind the scenes, there was a lot happening before we started, and I think for me, the lows were the challenges. And when the highs came, you just appreciated those highs. And like the funny story, my son had just finished matric, and he came to the World Cup, and he was involved, and he worked there, and we were there for about a month before the World Cup started, and setting up and planning and all that. And it was about 7:45 in South Africa. Women were playing against Australia, and he came up to me and he was like, "Dad, there's no one here. Like, the game starts in 45 minutes and there's absolutely no one here." So I was like, "Blake, don't worry. Like, I'm sure everything, people will come. Don't worry." And literally 30 seconds later, Graham O'Connor phoned me, the CEO of Spa, and he said, "Simon, when are they going to open the gates? Because there are hundreds and thousands of people outside coming to the World Cup, and they want to watch this game, and the game starts in 45 minutes. And then I said to Blake, run to the gates and tell iTickets to open them immediately. And he just sprinted, and he got to the gate. His eyes popped out of his head, and he was like, "Oh my word, all of these people are here to watch hockey. This is insane." They opened the gates, and there were like 3,500 people just like in there within 20 minutes, seated, ready to go. What a special moment. And he came up to me and was like, "Yo, I was so worried and nervous that no one was going to come to the World Cup." I was like, "Listen, have faith."
Yeah, so, I mean, that's got to be testament to you. Eh? The highs are made as high thanks to the lows. You've rolled with so many punches. You've had a lot of faith, as you spoke about. And yes, what a goosebump moment. I guess then that like takes us on to talk us through the Nkosi Cup. So that's sort of now then started off the back of the World Cup and these highs and these lows, and an immensely stressful tournament and a stressful lead up. But I guess it's very rewarding to watch it unfold, that it then inspired you to go on to new ventures.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting way how Nkosi Cup started. I came back after World Cup, spending so many hours, months, minutes, seconds thinking about it, doing it. And all of a sudden, I came back to Cape Town, and I walked into the office, and I looked at the four walls, and I was like, sure, okay, I've just reached the pinnacle of where I want to go, hosting a World Cup in South Africa. Now what? And I kind of I was a bit lost. I didn't know what to do. I was also suffering from probably a bit of burnout after the World Cup, and I was in a place where I needed to do something to challenge myself to keep the energy, the continuity from the World Cup. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? And and I go back to my kids, and my daughter said to me, Dad, like, listen, there must be something that you can do that will be life changing, that you can do every year and host it in South Africa with PSI, with the support of PSI, and make it an amazing event. And, I kind of look at the hockey journey as a player, and I look at, in Malaysia, they hosted the Aslan Shah Cup, which is started in the 80s, and it's always been an incredible event, for outdoor hockey. And I thought, why not do something like that for indoor in South Africa and do it every year in Cape Town? And that's kind of where the idea came within Nkosi Cup, and obviously the mascot from the World Cup was Nkosi the lion, and to keep the legacy burning, it was roaring. It was a case of, let's do something that the PSI kids can aspire to play in one day, and for me that is so important, is to have that carrot for the PSI kids, to obviously play in Nkosi Cup and take them through the whole journey to senior hockey, and not just stop playing hockey when they get to matric or they get to varsity. So I think I'm so excited for the path of where Nkosi Cup can take us as a hockey nation.
Yeah, we're going to touch on Nkosi Cup now because you've got some insane plans for this year. I mean, I've seen that little vision of what the village is going to look like. Something I want to know, because I mean, Brando and I, we've got our own weird addiction, which is like doing activities for 30 hours and running mountains and stuff. You seem to be, I want to say, I don't know what the right word is here, but addicted to, I don't know, I want to say changing lives, hosting events. I can't really categorize it. But what advice would you give to someone who's almost scared to take that leap? Like, where do you find the courage to do these crazy things? Because hosting a World Cup is insane. This is crazy. Like, no one ever thought hockey could look like this. I mean, what advice would you give to a youngster who is a bit scared to take a leap, eh?
Well, it kind of like, as the great Muhammad Ali says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I think that's how I've always lived, And the World Cup was scary. Doing what I want to do at the end of the year, there is a fair element to it. But, you need to push the boundaries. And if you don't want to push the boundaries, then, you just kind of glide through. But, I through the last 20 years and hosting a World Cup and multiple PSI national events, I know that my purpose is to change indoor hockey in this country for the good, for the long term, and with my drive and my passion and my team around me, we will do that. And it's so exciting to see, and with a path within Nkosi Cup where we can take it, and just what we want to do with the village. I growing up as a young boy, you look watching Wimbledon and Roland Garros, and you see how they have this incredible setup. You have center court, and you have court number 1, and you've got another 10 other courts or 20 other courts at Wimbledon. Why can't we do that for indoor hockey in South Africa? Why can't we create something that is special? And when people arrive here, they go, wow, this is where I want to be, so the village, the idea was get everyone into the same space. Not everyone can play here during the day, because obviously we need more halls, but outside of the military base. But it was, every year we want to add an extra court within this space, and this year we're going to have 5 courts literally within walking distance. And just the atmosphere and the excitement during the day is just going to be next level. yeah, the what we're doing with adding the center court this year is very much a progression that hockey's probably never seen, and it's a challenge, but I feel that it's the right way forward. You can literally do what we're doing and play it in the desert if you want. It's just having the right structure with the tents, the flooring, the seating, bringing it all in and creating this incredible arena that now we can fit 2,600 people in to watch, as opposed to jamming in 1,000 people in this court over here. So I think the progression is really important, and innovating the game, and taking it to a whole nother level and experience, also not only for the players but also for the spectators too.
Yes, I mean, I think the more we talk about to you, the more we realize your character is incredible, in the fact that you spoke about Roland Garros, Wimbledon. You do not see limitations. You are continuously driven and find passion through the tough stuff. And yeah, it's pretty incredible and pretty motivating, I think, for many people around you. And I mean, let's keep it focused on Nkosi Cup though. What teams will be coming in 2025? I mean, you've spoken about the venue and how incredible that's going to be, and the fact that you want to put 2,000 people into one place is unbelievable. So what teams are coming?
So on the men's side, we've got New Zealand, Australia, Namibia, South Africa, and America, which is really exciting. Australia are going to be the top ranked team, and then South Africa. So yeah, it'll fire up our boys. And I think, yeah, it's the high level of teams coming. And I think America came to the first Nkosi Cup. They've got a good system there. They'll also be tough to beat, even though they didn't play in the World Cup. So the men's section, yeah, those are the 5 teams. And then with the women, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Namibia, and Zim ladies are playing as a 5th team. So yeah, still great competition. I mean, it's a great experience for a lot of the PSI Zimbabwe kids now having the Zim ladies playing. They can really support them, just like the Namibians. When they're down here for PSI, they can support the Namibian side. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing event. We've gone from 4 nations to now 5 for 2025. So yeah, it'll be a lot more hockey, in center court, and obviously live on Supersport.
Simon, I'm a passionate guy. I live in KZN. Why should I come to the Nkosi Cup? And when I get here, how do I get tickets? How do I get involved? Like, how do we encourage people who aren't necessarily involved in a franchise from a different province to make the trip up to experience Nkosi Cup?
Well, I think the whole village will be a totally new experience for hockey lovers. I mean, yeah, it's going to take the game to 2 steps forward, and I think just from a hockey perspective, I mean, you've got great teams coming. You've got the South African men's team. People, we get behind them. They've just won a medal at the World Cup. Let's watch them live. Let's support them. Why do South Africans jump on a flight to go watch the Springboks play in Cape Town from Durban? Or why can't we do the same thing for hockey? And so come. It's going to be, there's plenty of seats. Tickets will be on sale on iTickets, .co.za. They'll be launching the tickets in September. It's not only just about hockey, it's the whole experience, on and off the field, and which is also important, and having, a huge food court in the center with all the kids playing around. It's just an incredible opportunity for people to network, also. So yeah, don't be scared. Come. It's going to be epic.
So, Sa, I mean, we've spoken about it. You've started PSI, you hosted a World Cup, you've started Nkosi Cup. something else you've also started is Taylor, where you kit out all the teams. I mean, I've seen you kit out different schools. I mean, I'm wearing one of your jackets now. I got to wear one in Germany with you on one of the All-Star tours, and I mean, it kept me warm there. Chat us through that journey and how it started.
So 2008, we hosted PSI in Paul, and the kit was a bit of a a challenge that year. And we kind of, we after the event, we were like, well, listen, why don't we start a brand that's hockey specific, and just really drive it and push it, and not only just supply for PSI teams, but also get into the market, universities, clubs, provinces, and maybe even try get into other sports. But I think the focus, and for us, the niche is really hockey. And I think we definitely filled, that gap, and there was definitely a need for hockey apparel. Just specialized. You go back when I played hockey, you played in a cotton T-shirt with a number and a screen printed number. So now we can do stuff that is so creative. We really like hone in on fits, and just making clothing look sensational, and that's what we trying to do at Taylor. I think really special was at the last World Cup. We had 6 nations wearing Taylor at the World Cup, and it was amazing to see. Like people were walking on the big stage, and people wearing our brand and getting excited about it, celebrating in it, scoring it in it, winning medals in it, and as I think any apparel brand, you want to see that. So that was special from where the brand has gone from 2008 to now. I think it's organically grown, and we have a good team and a good staff, and it's exciting to see where the brand's going to go for the next few years.
Yeah, such special stuff. So like, for those that don't know, of course, the brand is named after your daughter, and of course, you have a son, and through this whole establishing of PSI and Taylor as well, you've had a family, you've grown 2 kids to be out of school now, and it's talk us through that journey and how they've been integral in the part of PSI as well.
Yeah, I mean, my kids have been from the start. Taylor didn't start well with PSI. She ended up having a tantrum at the UCT storeroom because it was too overwhelming for her. So I was like, okay, listen, we'll give you a break in the first year. You can start when you're ready to go. But she started in a grade 6 year, and she never looked back. And she talks about it. Even she's 23 and she still talks about it. And she's going to play in under 23 nationals this year again. And she's just, she loves her indoor hockey, and with my son as well. I think it kind of saved him from the world of gaming as a young kid when he was 8, 9, 10, 11, and he was so caught up in the world of gaming, and he was introduced to PSI also in grade 6, and I've never seen so much excitement, real excitement, in this boy's face, and it was just a special moment when he played in his first tournament and he won a gold medal, and special.
Yeah, I mean, your kids are obviously super important to you, but as a parent, I want to say, how important is sport or getting your kid involved in PSI, and what are some key memories for you just as a parent? I mean, I always talk to Simon Martin as I want to say, the big chief, but there must be moments where you've been sitting in the stands as a dad, and like, what do those proud moments look like?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's the highs and the lows of your kids playing sport, and you kind of they need you there, just support them. And I think with PSI, it's been amazing to see so many parents come down and support their kids in December. They kind of block it off and go, we're coming to Cape Town in December, no matter where we live in Southern Africa, and we hockey lovers, and we are going to come down here and support. And that is amazing to see. Yes, it's all good having this stuff live streamed on TV, but I promise you right now, your kids want you at that venue, sitting in the stands and cheering you on, and win or lose, it's so important. And being present as a parent for your kid is vital for the success of them and their longevity of their hockey career. You see it all the time. So yeah, we love it when parents are so involved with the kids. It means so much, and yeah, you can see the kids that really excel. Their parents are part of that journey with them.
And so let's dive into that a little bit more. Like, how incredible to think that you created this platform. You basically started and birthed PSI and have made it into this mega thing. And you mentioned 24,000 kids. You've spoken about your 2 kids and how impactful that's been for you as a father and on them. And to think that you've done that for 24,000 kids, like, how insane is that?
Yeah, it's special. People, I might be out, in a random place in South Africa, and people come up to me and say, you know what, Simon, like, we really appreciate what PSI did to me. Even parents come up to us and say, we miss it so much. Our kids, they've got kids now, and it's actually inspiring for those people to come up and speak about, their stories and what they loved about it. And yeah, it means a lot to me, just to make such a big difference, not only in kids' lives, but also in a family. And it kind of, I believe that sport is such an integral part in life, especially in South Africa. It's the one thing that keeps us happy and sane, and I think as families we need it. We talk about it, we do it every day. So it's been a privilege and an honor to be part of so many people's lives and change so many people's lives for the better.
Both your kids listening to the podcast now, a proud moment of each of them in the PSI experience, moments where you sat there and they kind of took you away, like, where, cool, I'm a proud dad now.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think Blake really had a good, when he was in under 14, he had a brilliant PSI. He got goalkeeper of the tournament, and he got selected for All-Stars team, and they were the first group that went on the All-Stars tour to Europe. That was proud. Under 18, he also got goalie of the tournament. He had an incredible tournament too. And yeah, that was an incredible moment. But I think what was a freak moment with my son is in 2016 when we had this dream team all-star international all-star team that came down to play the South African men's indoor team that year. And in the final game, played it at UCT. The likes of Morris Forster was playing, Robert Tiggers, Nicky Lice, Ten Rohoff. It was the Vest brothers. It was the greatest team probably ever put together. And Robert Tiggers says, why don't you get your son to play like 10, 15 seconds of the game? Just give him an opportunity, sub him on for Laurens Goedegebeure, the Dutch goalkeeper, and give him a little moment, a little taste of what could happen in the future. So last game, 15 seconds to go, keepers swapped, and it was just a pass. Matthew Fairweather got the ball from the back. He switched it to the right. It went to Jonesy, and he slid the ball in, and one of the South African players got a deflection inside the circle, and Blake was in the goals with like 3 seconds to go, and it hit Blake literally on the arm here, and he didn't even have arm pads. Had this like flimsy little chest pad, and the ball like snuck behind him and was bouncing at a bit of a pace going into the goals. And I don't know what happened, but he just woke up and for the first time in a while, and he did this incredible like back flick as the ball was bouncing into the goals, and literally sitting on the side there, the whole of UCT erupted. It was like this Walt Disney moment, and the whistle blew, and it was such an incredible moment for this 12-year-old boy. He got lifted by Morris first there, and everyone was like literally high-fiving him. Just a special moment, and just kind of like, that's the reason why we play sport. You know, you can win the gold medals, you know, the Olympic medals, but that moment was so inspiring for not only Blake in the goals, but like hundreds of people at UCT that day. And what was so amazing was that video just went viral, like through Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, it's just an incredible moment for him. And I think, you know, for Taylor, I think, you know, I've never known a child to work so hard at her indoor. You know, she just pushed me to go, not, you know, I pushed her. She pushed me to take her out every week, go to the indoor court, you know, training, and just working on her basics, her skills, her shooting. And, you know, she started as a Sunbirds player, you know, and she ended up, you know, under 18s now, under 23s in the SEALs team. And, you know, and that's where she wants to go. And she, like, her determination is really amazing to see. You know, you can have all the talent in the world, but talent is just an opinion. If you don't actually use it, it's nothing. And it's cool for her to be determined. And I wish them well. You know, you know, every parent wants their kids to play for South Africa or for their country. You know, if they go that extra mile, then that's just a bonus. But, you know, just to experience playing with them and watching them grow through the ranks has been special.
Arguably one of the greatest stick saves of the history of hockey ever. And I guess, as you say, that moment was super tangible. It went viral on YouTube, and I think it's testament to you. You've created so many magical memories for so many people. That one being one of the best, certainly for you, but there's been so many. And I think that's testament to you and PSI. Eh?
I think something you've just brought up now is, what is the All-Stars for someone who doesn't know? Because we haven't spoken about it. But what is the All-Stars? What's the plan behind it? What do they do? Why did you start them?
I think, the idea of the tour came through Ross Willis. He was working for me at the time, and he really believed that we need to select a team from nationals and then take this talented bunch of under 16, under 18s abroad and play them against the best teams in Germany and Holland. And I think it was the best decision we ever did. And I think it's really given the players that come to nationals, that extra little bit, that carrot to make that side, and go on a tour that is different. It's a different experience to a school tour, and to learn the culture of playing hockey in Europe. It is different to South Africa, and the idea of going to Germany is that we need to be playing against the best kids in the world in order for us to be the best. You're not going to get better playing against weak nations. So going there to Holland is we all know is the hotbed of world hockey. They're the best outdoor hockey, and Germany are the best at indoor, and so we need to be playing against those kids at a young age, and this tour gives you the opportunity of playing against those clubs and getting the whole experience, so one day when you're playing against Germany at a World Cup, it's just normal, it's just every day of the week, or it's just a tour, where you're not frightened to play against them. So I think the tour is he's been incredible. And last year, sorry, not last year, but this year, I actually took the tour, and I wanted to experience what it felt like to run the tour, to actually get into the minds of the players and see what it's like. And I think it was so inspiring to know that there's so many young kids that are just so determined to play for South Africa one day, to win a medal, to be part of that high performance structure. And I think the tour leads to that. And it's a great talent identification process for coaches. And yeah, my kids have also gone on the tour, and it really inspired them. And we're going, this year will be the 5th tour that we're going to be going on. And it's making a difference to those players. And ultimately, we will see those players hopefully playing for South Africa or Namibia one day.
Yeah, I think just to wrap it up, from Taylor to fatherhood to international exposure and growing the game here on a local scale, I think you're a next level present father. You're a next level present and passionate businessman, and yeah, we thank you and just keep on doing your good things, Si.
Thanks, guys.